So what is China trying to do? It's trying to actually move up the value chain. It's heavily relying on the Made in China 2025 initiative. That China's somehow technologically very advanced and a potential threat in terms of economic or technological supremacy is actually far-fetched. So it's kind of an interesting perception problem. In Latin America, we're not able to do so, and neither in the Middle East. It's the diffusion of technology. Companies learn from each other. The reason why we have a trade war is the fundamental assumptions which triggered this, in my view, from a White House perspective, is totally wrong. It began with the view that trade deficits are an issue, and they're not. It began with the concern that there's too much American investment in China, when actually it's the reverse, it's too little. Okay. So why is it so hard to solve this problem? Why is there so much tension? Because we begin with what I call faulty assumptions about what the objectives are. If you begin with faulty assumptions, you're going to come with faulty policies. And that's why we're having a very difficult time trying to figure out what is the solution, how you deal with it, which essentially is going to establish the technological basis for becoming more innovative. So from an American perspective, here are surging exports from China coming in, and they see this as a China problem. But from a China perspective, they're sort of puzzled by this because they are neither manufacturing the product in the sense of owning the plant. They actually don't contribute or control the blueprints of the technology. It's actually controlled by Apple. And this is true for a high range of Chinese products. So part of the reason why you have this, what I call a trade and technology war, is that both sides actually see the problem from a different angle. The economies in Europe that did this. So why is it that developing economies today, China really should not be classified as a developing country? But ask the question, what is per capita GDP of China? It's 8,000 and 9,000. What's the per capita GDP of America? It's 60,000, 7 times as large. So what is the difference between China and the United States in terms of this issue of great power? The issue is China's so big. Okay, so it's 1.4 billion people. If we're broken down to 20 countries, it'd be 20 poor developing countries. But because it's one big country, and you put it all together, its economic size is very large. To transfer the technologies from the West more efficiently than was the case, setting targets actually ends up hurting the people who set the targets. It doesn't end up hurting others. This is what the Soviet Union did. It set all these targets. That's what Mao did. Mao set up production targets in the Great Leap Forward. I want to produce so much wheat, so many machines, so many trucks. All these targets. It bankrupt China. Okay? So the issue is that it hurt America, it didn't hurt anybody. It basically hurt China itself. Why? Because it ended up producing things which China shouldn't be producing. And China has been one of the most successful countries in adopting and transfer of this technology. My recommendation to China would be, today your institutions are a lot stronger. You don't need to have this regulation requiring foreign companies to form a joint venture. Remove it. If you did, they can't complain anymore that they're being forced to give up technology in order to get market access. If they want a Chinese partner, they're doing it because they think it would actually be helpful.